NFL free agency winners and losers coming at you right now. You're watching NFL Daily by Chat Sports. I'm Mitchell Renz. That's Tom Downey, and it has been an eventful free agency. Maybe not so much to do with the signings, but with some of the insane trades that we saw. And Tom, we got to start here with some losers. I mean, it's the Houston Texans. Major loser.
Look, the Texans messed up. That's what happened. This is that trade, and I know it's free agency. I know that this is not technically free agency moves, but it's day one of free agency, so we're going to discuss it. Trading away DeAndre Hopkins for a second-round pick and getting a washback David Johnson as well is a bad trade. There is no amount of convincing out there beyond Houston DMing me money on Venmo to make them sound better.
What going down?
That can convince me that this is a good trade for Houston. You gave up on a top 3 receiver for a second-round pick, number 40 overall, the worst of the 2 fourth-round picks involved, and a running back who hasn't been the same guy in 3 years, and it costs $11 million. You didn't even save that much cap space. It's a trash deal. It's one of the worst I've ever seen in NFL history.
Wow.
How is this all they got? I will never know. I think they are wildly overvaluing David Johnson right now.
I think they're looking at the name David Johnson and what the Cardinals signed him for 3 years, 39.
Honestly,
it's not there.
I don't think they watched him last year. I honestly don't think that Bill O'Brien watched David Johnson, his game tape. It's available to everybody, by the way. You can buy it for $100 a year. NFL gets it for free. And watched him last year and thought, yeah, this guy's still good.
I mean, there's just no way. And if you are seeing that and you are thinking that he is that good, I really question what you're doing as an NFL head coach. Like, not even – I think Bill O'Brien's actually an okay head coach, but if he's
Bill O'Brien, the GM, ain't.
Bill O'Brien, the GM, looks a lot like his chin. And I don't know about you. I think everyone right now should type F because I think Bill O'Brien should be fired for this kind of move. And
he's hurting this organization. He is a negative drain on this team. He has to go.
He has to go. So everyone watching,
this cannot
type
be
F.
allowed.
Should be vetoed. No, really, it should be. I mean, it was an absolute shocker, blockbuster trade. Just another reason why you guys should subscribe, turn on those notices so you know when blockbuster trades go down here on Chat Sports. Let's go to another loser here, Tom. The Dallas Cowboys, a loser in NFL free agency.
I actually like the deal for Blake Jarwin. I thought that was fairly team-friendly. The problem is the Dallas Cowboys have taken this you know what? I'm not even going to call it lazy anymore. It's cheap. It's a cheap mindset when it comes to their top players and their top free agents. Instead of using the franchise tag as a tool, as a weapon to tag Amari Cooper or tag Byron Jones, they had it as the break in case of emergency option and instead used it on Dak Prescott. They let Amari Cooper hit free agency. He might price himself out because instead of giving what Cooper thought was a fair offer, he's going to explore others. The Bills can throw money at him. Teams have all this cap space available. The Dallas Cowboys, folks, are sitting here with some of the most cap space in free agency. They had $70 million. They still got almost $40 after tagging Dak. You could have been creative in your deals. You can play with the salary cap. Doesn't even exist in the same way we want to make it think that it does. That's how the Browns keep throwing money around in free agency every single year. More on them in the winter side of it, by the way. The Cowboys have gone cheap, and they've tried to tell players, we're not going to set the market. Now the market has set them. That's a mistake. And the Cowboys now, because they have not taken the proper approach in free agency, are playing the risk and running a very dangerous game of losing 2 of the top 5, 6, 7 best free agents in free agency in Amari Cooper, Byron Jones, and a down receiver, down cornerback group of free agents. How do you replace those guys? You only have so many draft picks. This has been a disaster. It can still fix itself, of course, but so far, this is a disaster for the Dallas Cowboys. Things have not gone well.
Totally agree with Tom. So how about this? Where will Amari Cooper play in 2020? Type C for the Dallas Cowboys, or you can type E for everywhere else. I'm actually starting to get to the point where I might type my E because I think that they have kind of shot themselves in the foot a little bit too much. It would not surprise me if he went to a team like the Buffalo Bills.
It's 50-50, guys.
Or another team that begins with an E. The Eagles, too, because if I'm the Philadelphia Eagles, I'm licking my chops right now because we need to build talent around Carson Wentz. And if we can take away the best receiver in free agency from an NFC rival, who, by the way, the Eagles beat last year. Yeah, if I'm the Eagles, I'm going out and getting Amari Cooper. You can't disagree with me.
No, you're right. That's why teams should have interest there. Like, if you're the Cowboys, you could not let both Amari, Dak, or all three of Dak, Amari, Byron hit free agent. You had to pick two. They didn't even do that. They have messed this up potentially so bad.
So continue to get those votes in here. C for Cowboys or type E for elsewhere. Let's now go to the Miami Dolphins, and I always feel kind of bad calling these guys losers, but Tom, you got them listed here as a loser.
Look, they're going to be draft winners, just so we're clear, so don't freak out.
Hopefully.
Don't freak out for the Dolphins here. They will be. They have so many picks.
I understand they have so many picks, hopefully.
They can't mess them all up, right? Right, Browns, a couple of years ago? They brought in Shaq Lawson. I actually don't mind that deal. There are some incentives. It's probably going to be more about a $10 million per year deal. It's Eric Flowers at $10 million, who was certainly better this year with the Redskins. Now you take him away from the – look, Bill Callahan made him, just so we're clear. I don't like that. No, he's still Eric Flowers. Better at guard, clearly, but I ain't paying him $10 million a year. I don't like that move.
So the Miami Dolphins, they're a loser here on NFL free agency. If you want to throw out a loser that you guys have in the comments section below, why don't you go ahead and do that for us right now. So these Dolphins, though, it might be a loser. We're going to try to make you guys a winner, and chatsports.com/NFL hat is a way to do that. You can be looking good during the off season. Maybe you have a big date after this. I'm not quite sure. Hats up to 45% off if you're balding or if you just want to rep your team. We're taking care of you.
I don't know why you looked at me when you said balding. I'm clearly not.
I'm just still bitter that you slapped me in the face. But NFL hats on sale up to 45% off. It's chatsports.com/NFL hat. All your favorite teams, go ahead, get yourself hooked up. We'll put it in the comments. We'll put it in the descriptions below. Don't be a loser. Buy a nice NFL hat up to 45% off. So, Dom, we're still going to keep it rolling here with some losers. We have now the Atlanta Falcons.
Like, I don't get the Hayden Hurst trade. That's my mindset here. The Hurst trade hurts you. Austin Hooper was obviously more than 2 years, $23 million, so we'll get that fixed here in just a second. I wouldn't have paid him quite that amount of money, but I don't understand why you would deal a second-round pick for Hayden Hurst. That's a bad trade. That's not the route that you want to go. I don't like it. I'm fine with cutting Freeman. A second-round pick for Hurst? Don't like it.
Yeah, no, I'm totally on board with you there, especially because Hooper was kind of like that reliable blanket option especially for Matt Ryan. And now with this offense, I understand they have Julio Jones. I understand that, they have other options there with Calvin Ridley, but I think that this is a team that started to play better down the stretch, but they still need a lot of offensive help, and they're starting to lose some pieces there. So we'll see what this Atlanta Falcons team does. They are a loser, though, for us here on our free agency.
Still time to change it. Don't get too upset, guys.
That's very true. Very, very true.
Just day one.
So who's your biggest winner of day one of NFL free agency? We want you to comment below. You're watching NFL Daily by Chat Sports, and I will say this. The team that's coming up next on our screen, they're the biggest winner for me on day one of free agency. It's the Arizona Cardinals. Can we all just start clapping for the Cardinals?
This was a ridiculously fantastic deal for the Arizona Cardinals. Like, you pull off, I think trade of the century is right. This is a fantastic move by the Arizona Cardinals. You got rid of David Johnson's contract, and you landed DeAndre Hopkins for what amounts to a second-round pick.
That's incredible.
NFL should veto it. Like, that's not fair. You got one of the best receivers in the NFL for nothing. Nothing.
Could you actually veto this, though?
No, you can't. That's not how the NFL operates.
I mean, this is just absolutely mind-blowing.
If there's going to be a Chris Paul veto trade, this one's it.
I mean, this is big time. I mean, when I first saw that David Johnson went to the Texans alone, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe the Texans are going to take on that contract. They're losing. They lose that alone.
This began as a David Johnson trade. We're like, wow, that's kind of crazy, and they got that. And then all of a sudden, Hopkins is included, and I was like, they better get their first-round pick, and they didn't. I am old enough to remember, Mitch, when Brandon Cooks was traded for a first-round pick, not once but twice, and Nuke Hopkins didn't even get a top 35 pick.
Oh, my.
Negligence. by the Houston Texans, highway robbery by the Arizona Cardinals.
I mean, when you consider the fact that DeAndre Hopkins, let's just talk about not just the numbers that you see on screen, but over the last 5 years. I mean, he's top 5 in receptions, he's top 5 in yards, and he's top 5 in touchdowns. He's also played in 16 games, 4 straight years. He is super consistent. I'll still say he's the best wide receiver in the NFL. And he doesn't talk all that much. Like, he's quiet. He's everything that you want in a wide receiver in today's game. So what do you end up doing? You end up trading him away. Mind-blowing to me.
I've heard reports that Hopkins wanted a new deal. Okay, pay him. He's great. And that he didn't really get along with Bill O'Brien. Okay, that's a coaching issue. This Arizona won this deal. I love giving Kyler Murray DeAndre Hopkins. That's going to be so much fun to watch in that Cliff Kingsbury offense.
Let's go to the next winner here, Tom. It's the San Francisco 49ers, a clear winner here on NFL free agency day one.
This has been an unusual day for San Francisco. Arik Armstead, 5 years, 85, I think is about fair value. They didn't tag him. The big deal here is DeForest Buckner. And the game you're playing if you're a 49ers fan or evaluating the trade is what's better? The 13th overall pick and Arik Armstead at $17 million a year, or DeForest Buckner sticking on your roster, because I guess they weren't going to keep both of them.
Yep.
It's close. I'm going to take Armstead in the pick, because now I can maybe take care of my receiver need. Maybe I can make this into Arik Armstead and Jerry Jeudy, Arik Armstead and Henry Ruggs. Well, that's pretty damn good. That makes up the difference in the talent gap between Buckner and Arik Armstead. So there's a good argument for both sides involved in this trade. But I think in the end, the Niners did a unique but a good job here.
The last time Tom and I checked, we saw that only 54% of our viewers are subscribed to Chat Sports. We want to get that number up, and we think that everyone who's watching the show right now should subscribe to our channel. We're going to be live throughout all of NFL free agency. We've been live for over 7 hours today. We know the Go Bear, the thing that we're not allowed to say because of YouTube, has kind of put a damper on things. Tom and I are trying to be in here to spruce some things up. Click on the notification bell. Click the subscribe button. The link is below, youtube.com/chatsportstv. All right, let's go to the next winner here, Tom. It's the Baltimore Ravens, and a team that made some good moves in last year, 14-2, but obviously didn't get it done in the playoffs. Maybe they can get over the hump now.
Look, I think this is going to be a popular pick in the Super Bowl. First off, they made a whole bunch of moves in terms of trades.
Yeah.
They sent a 5th-round pick for Calais Campbell.
Win.
Then sent Hayden Hurst to the Falcons for a 2nd-rounder, which I think is going to be
major win.
Top 50. You got the best player and the best pick involved in both deals. Good teams stay good, guys. The Ravens are doing a fantastic job. I know it's not free agency signings, but there's been so many trades you had to include them today. This is brilliant by the Ravens. I love the moves they've been making. And heck, if you want to include that other 5th-round pick they had, it's for Marcus Peters. And they got a 5th-round pick for their backup kicker who they cut, or the Minnesota cut.
I mean,
they're
good
winning,
teams,
baby.
Good organizations.
They're winning.
Doing the right things. And, I mean, I think we kind of saw the ball get rolling here with this Calais Campbell trade. And, I mean, for a 5th-round pick, I mean, that's an absolute steal, because if there's one thing that I think the Ravens really needed to work on, is kind of also building that interior defensive line, because how did they get knocked out of the playoffs? Derrick Henry running the football down their throats. You go and get Calais Campbell, and hopefully, fingers crossed, that doesn't happen again. Let's go into the next winner here. We're going to stick in the AFC North. It's the Cleveland Browns, and I think in terms of actually doing what free agency is supposed to be about, I think a lot of it is with this Cleveland Browns team and going out and getting a player like Austin Hooper, and also signing Jack Conklin. But let's be frank, if their only move would have been signing Jack Conklin, they would have been a winner.
Yeah, look, I don't even love the Hooper deal that much. I'm in love with this Jack Conklin addition. Getting him at $14 million a year, which I think legitimately could have been $4 million over what I thought he was going to get. Now, maybe the NFL valued him less. That's certainly plausible. But you don't often see players take less than what they were expected to get. I think that's what happened here with Jack Conklin on that 3-year, $42 million deal. It's great. It's a fantastic pickup. Now, it allows him to hit the open market again at entering his age 28 season.
Yep.
That's good for him. But you've taken care of your right tackle spot. That's the best route. You that need checked off. You're good. You can still figure out left tackle and some guard potentially, but getting a spot locked up, is
I'll
great.
also say this. I mean, for a lot of teams, NFL free agents, they're like, oh, I don't know if we have enough cap space. You said it earlier. You can work around it. The Browns the last 2 years have been very, very aggressive. Now, it hasn't really, turned out to wins. But I think when you talk about the biggest winner, I think the Browns definitely going to be on that list. So what you think? Who are the biggest winners and losers from day one? So if you're watching us live on YouTube right now, comment below. If you see this a little bit later, again, comment below on YouTube and on Facebook. Who are your biggest winners and losers from day one? All right, Tom, free agency winners and losers coming at you from NFL free agency day one. Got the Cardinals, Niners, Ravens, and Browns. If you disagree with Tom and I, you can hit us up, Instagram, Twitter, at WhatGoingDown.
Of those two, I think free agency only, it's obviously the Cleveland Browns.
Yep.
In terms of across the day, it's the
Cardinals.
Because they got DeAndre Hopkins. It's crazy.
All right, let's go to the losers now. We're going to sort through our
Houston.
Texans, Cowboys, Dolphins, and Falcons.
That's it. Send the tweet. That's it.
I mean, realistically, we could have just put Houston Texans, Houston Texans, Houston Texans, Houston Texans. I know we have a lot of Texans fans that watch us on this channel, and I think every single person would agree with us, minus Rick from 4 hours ago.
I don't want to be mean to teams, but I can't even try to spin this as a good deal. I can't. I'm sorry. I wish I could. There's just no route for me to actually pull that off.
Hell for love.